Welcome to the final part of Metroid 2 Remake here on the heavybass channel. It's been a long bloody time since we started this very short project, which takes about 26, which is roughly the same length as Metroid Fusion and Super Metroid before it. But I digress, and that was kind of cool of me to do so. So, for this final part of the challenge, we're going this way. Indeed, this is basically a final connection, so just in case you wanted to get that way, you'll now know that we are fully connected to the final part, because this area is an interesting little bit of an interesting there, because this fully supports my theory that the Metroids were created by the Chozo. Welcome in particular, let me get the introduction, this is a Chozo area. Once we get to the final bit, head up there, and of course we have no Metroids left. Oh, is there? No! There's more Metroids! In fact, one is about to... Ooh, that egg looks really strange and familiar. Welcome to the Welcome when we get the chance, because we're gonna kill some Metroids. Yeah, wouldn't be a Metroid game if we didn't have old school Metroids to create. Welcome to... we get the chance. Welcome, well, when we get the opportunity, welcome to the genetics lab. This is where they use DNA to create the Metroid race it is not that hard. They created one Metroid. It becomes the Queen. That's how, and of course with that one Metroid Queen, who literally created hundreds of Metroids, forced the Chozo to flee SR388, and that's really about it. It also kind of explains why there are Chozo there are Chozo ruins, Chozo industrials. There was a war with which had an industrial bat thing, and I got to kill a lot of the Metroid. By the way, these are cool. These basically are throwbacks to traditional Metroid fights, which literally do contain quite a few things. So they're going down some platforms, we're reducing them one by one. We're down to the final lot of traditional Metroids, because some of these are hiding in places, and really are annoying. So now we're down to one of the Queen's last hatchlings, as it were. Also, gotta go to that top left box, because I didn't even bother with visiting last time. Kind of feels boring, but I am technically stalling because this is the final part. Because there's only only 2 Metroids left in the entirety of the game. That egg hatchlet, that literal egg that was hatched right that we saw at the very beginning. There's only 1 Metroid left. Technically there's 2. This is the final bit. So we knocked out all the kids. Say hello to the Metroid Queen. This is the mother of heart of the species and the mother of all Metroids born. She literally she has a long neck and all that. She literally creates eggs, as it were. So essentially, it's a tribute to the alien Queen, which is a familiar bad guy. Also, this is possibly one of the best final bosses in the franchise, because this alien, or rather this Metroid Queen, has forms herself. And you got these things, which also heal you. As you can probably me saw herself, there are some cool ways of killing there are cool ways to kill this Queen. Also, the preferred way to do it is by Super Missile. My first opinion is Super Missile is created for the very purpose of taking on the Queen. Although you'll probably find yourself that in this game as well, there are a lot of Metroids. The Queen has a pattern which you can use to take advantage. She has 2 main attacks. As you can in every time you hit her, this is the cool thing about this boss in particular. She bleeds. Yes, that's right. The Metroid bleeds. As in, quite literally, you have to feel sorry for this Queen because she is the last. Well, technically, she's the last remaining member of her species. You're about to wipe out her entire, about to wipe out the entirety of all the Metroids, which causes you trouble. Which consists of Metroids, and of course that incident, and of course that crime incident. You know, remind me of that. That's interesting enough as it is. Yes, as you see right there, she now bleeds. Quite literally. And now it proceeds to a chase sequence, where quite literally, you have no room. Which literally means you're forced to use the very, you know, the very chambers that you came from, in order to, like, you know, take out the Queen. It's kind of cool. I mean, yeah. This is the pattern that keeps repeating, by the way. There are cool ways of finishing this Queen off. I mean, one of the strategies back then was to literally go inside her stomach and blow it up with bombs. Which literally, there is power bombs here. We can make it cool. We can actually make a death better, but I prefer hitting her with missiles. I'd literally, you know, make her bleed and shit. Once you hit her enough, or where she starts to bleed even further, that's when she starts to take down the wall again. You go for the genetic slab. The very thing that she was created from, and now you literally have no much room to go for. She's getting angry. Very angry. Have you seen her? Exactly, if I was in her shoes, I would be very angry too. Let's get back down to it. Once you damage her again, make sure she's even more bleeding. The chamber falls right down to a final area, which is familiar, because this is where you fought to a doom. I like this act version of the final boss, but literally it's just the same strategy as it was before. She's just charged. You have to do this again. Very useful. I think Ice Beam still remains the best thing. Hit her while she's doing that, but she's not when she's got glowing and stuff. And that's basically a wall. But once you do, you keep doing that. Fit purpose. Keep repeating this. She's not going to last much longer. I know she won't. In fact, she looks like she's probably going to drop dead soon. No, still a few rounds of that. It's still... She does take a lot of missiles. In fact, in the original, there were a lot of... she literally took hundreds of missiles in order to get her killed. There was no way to get refills, too. She has to keep hitting her. Her teeth are starting to go. As you may have noticed, the bleeding effect, that's kind of cool. Being hit by so many missiles, it's just, you know, cool. Kind of tragic as well. And she's got one, and she's going to break the wall again! She is! Now we're moving on to caves. This is the final part of the boss. We're literally... See, now in this part of the boss, you can quite literally, you can go into the stomach and blow her... Technically, if you could blow her stomach up with a power bomb, but we're not doing that because I'm actually gonna do it. I didn't do this, but I think but there is a very cool animation, and possibly the grossest ever. But yeah, that's the Queen. She's dead. Note, everything has gone silent at all. Everything has gone silent. This is the one unsettling thing I wish he actually did. I wish there was some music to keep out. Everything is silent, except for your movements. You have just wiped, but also, note the Metroid counter didn't go down. And there it is. That is the only reason why Metroid 2 is relevant. It was the meeting with it was Samus's meeting with her technical child, the hatchling. And one of the most important events that ever happened in the Metroid franchise was this meeting. Not the fact that Samus killed Mother Brain. Oh no, it was this meeting with Hatchling that plays a very, very important effect on how the franchise will proceed. You know, in some cases, it's used on how well the franchise has become. It's also used how bad the franchise became at one point. The Hatchling is one of the more important characters out there, and yeah, I think most of you will want to see the gory bit. The best ending is possible. The best way to kill the Metroid Queen is the one with the power bombs, because oh god, it's so good. It's also overkill as well. And as in literal, you will feel sorry for the Queen as if you use the power bomb in her stomach. Now, as I mentioned before, in the past of the in Metroid 2, you can actually go into the Queen's stomach in mothball form and actually bomb the stone for extra damage. That was basically sort of like a reference back to how in the original NES, in the original NES Metroid, you could use power bombs to kill Kraid and Ridley, just because they were gigantically huge. They was basically human size because of, you know, sprite limitations and shit. They couldn't have giant images. So you can kill them with mothball bombs, which is freaking hilarious. So yeah, I'll probably put it in an appropriate spot, so you can appreciate how badass that death is, because it's still one of the best things out there. I might actually do that somehow after I've done recording, but yeah. Basically, it's now nighttime. You go back to your ship. Essentially, we're just gonna jump around, because quite literally this is the last thing that we do. Everything's gone. But basically, that cave into the planet she tells you, get off my planet. You've done enough. You've wiped out an entire species. You've wrecked an ecosystem. You potentially introduced another dangerous predator into the mix, potentially that could screw you over. But lo and behold, that's it. Hatchling goes inside the ship with you, and essentially, it is mission complete. The Metroid species has been vanquished, and you are triumphant. Let us go. And that is the end of Metroid 2 Remake. An Elseverse version of Metroid 2. Created by Milton Gutasi, aka Dr. M64, after the whole thing with Nintendo basically getting cop DMCA'd his game, he ended up having a happy ending after all. He's currently working on Ori and the Blind Forest 2 with Blue Moon Studios. That's a good ending for him. But yeah, I just want to thank him. I want to thank him for introducing a different version of Metroid 2, using fusion technology, engines, and assets to create, quite possibly, now this was an alternate verse. If everything else, I don't know why Capcom was being thankful. I don't know, because I think they would produce the game, but anyway. This is basically Gunpei Yokai's legacy. This was the guy that created the game itself, and yeah. To be perfectly honest, I wasn't expecting to actually play this. I mean, yeah, I wanted to pass another Metroid 2 remake as essentially as Metroid 2 Remake. If Metroid Return of Samus wasn't released, and this was all they had, and basically Nintendo Sakamoto abandoned the Metroid franchise and basically declared it dead. But it didn't. And thankfully, and because it was because Satoru Iwata also, I think he worked on this game, I'm not sure, but he did work on something. So yeah, 100% in under 4 hours. I think you can get the time better. I think people can't beat this in 3 hours. But yeah, game's over. And that's really about it. And what else is there to do, really? I mean, quite literally, thank you very much. And I'll be seeing you next mission. Bye for now, ladies and gentlemen.
The last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace.
Well, if you actually kept watching at the end of the video, congratulations. There's a little bit of thank you message. Thank you for actually watching this LP. I don't really want to tease. I mean, this was meant to be a placeholder that actually ended up taking a full slot away, but I think I've pretty much made you wait long enough. Stay tuned for the channel, because a certain game is finally going to be played. AKA the reason why Samus doesn't like the Metroids in the first place. Cue the intro.